Well, hey, it's Brian G. Great to be here. Really excited to hang out, talk shop, talk YouTube, talking about poodles. What does that mean? Nobody knows, but I got a few of them and they're hungry. So it's really great to be back on the TubeBuddy live stream. I have live streamed many times with the TubeBuddy crew. So much love for Phil and Andrew, and I see Rob's in the house, all kinds of people, but I haven't in a while, and I'm just really excited today to hang out and share some ideas and thoughts on how you can move forward with your YouTube channel, and you can actually trigger the algorithm and growth of your channel. So so that's what we're going to talk about today. I am trying to get all the things configured. Let's see if I can, I think I'm going to do this. Open up another window. And the first thing I want to ask you is tell me a little bit about your channel and what's going on with your YouTube and whatnot. I would love to know. I'm going to open up a few more windows here just so I can see who's in the stream. And looking good there.
Sorry about that, folks. Waiting to get Brian G back in here. So here's your surprise Andrew Can behind the scenes. So as I work to get Brian G back in the chat, how is everyone doing? I see Rob has joined us. As I work to get Brian G back in the chat, how is everyone doing? In the curtain.
Surprise,
We're just I know. I think we have a Brian G back. Here we go.
That's awesome. I love it when I've done this before now.
Okay.
Here's the thing: if you click out of the window on StreamYard, you're gone. So I get all the windows open, and then all of a sudden we're dead. So sorry about that, gang, but it happens. Anyway, like I was saying, really excited to see you guys. I see Kathy is here. Welcome, Cody. What's going on? Good to see you. We're back in action here. I'm not going to close out that. I think I'm just going to put this over here. That'll be much better. So let's just jump right into it. I want to talk a little bit today about TubeBuddy and growth and some strategies and tactics. And the first thing I want to let you know is as you move forward with your channel, the thing you really want to focus on is knowing that as you publish videos, you're going to get closer to really triggering the algorithm and seeing that growth that you're so excited for. One of the things that you might think is it's not working. You might think, I'm doing all of the stuff and I'm trying to improve my thumbnails, and you're studying your YouTube analytics, things like average view duration, and it may seem like things aren't really working out, but this is what I want to really kick the show off with a strong statement. But I guarantee if you continue to publish videos on a regular basis, that's one video a week. Strive to hit that, okay? One video a week. If you do that and you continue, remember I said continue to publish videos regularly, you will learn and you will improve, especially if you're really thinking about that kind of thing. Right? So what I want to share with you is that's really the goal. I want to encourage you as we move forward in this live stream, maybe to take a few notes. I'm going to be looking at some questions that pop up and whatnot, and just know that you have the ability and the skills needed to move forward and grow your channel. Even when it seems like it's not working, it's working as long as you're working and you're publishing videos. This is what I've really learned over about 4 years now on YouTube. is that it absolutely does get easier for big channels. It does get easier because you learn the skills, you learn thumbnail design tactics and strategy, and you're going to have a far easier time making headway when it comes to the results you're after on YouTube. So step number one is, let's talk about like how to actually move forward and make it happen with your YouTube channel. Step number one is to just do your best to boil down
Welcome back. I think we are okay. We'll we're just having some fun today, aren't we? So hey everyone. So I think we lost him again, but do not worry. Hey, get that Andrew guy out of here, says Ike. So do not worry. Brian was just going to be talking about the YouTube algorithm, and Brian is back, I think. I see people in the green room, StreamYard. But the thing is, when it comes to YouTube and really understanding, kind of piggybacking off of what Brian was saying, is that the more you do it, the better you become. And the YouTube algorithm recognizes that, and it notices that in a couple of very key metrics that Brian was just going to bring up. So while this is all going on, if you do have a question for Brian G, please be sure to ask them in the chat with the hashtag question. I'm seeing a lot of friendly folks while we are getting Brian back into the StreamYard. But I wanted to know, what are your main questions when it comes to the algorithm? A lot of people feel they know it very well. So I just wanted to know, what do you think is the biggest hurdle for your understanding in the YouTube algorithm? I'm just curious. Digging your simple setup, says Holly Lee. Well, thank you. You know, when you never know when you're going live, you just gotta wing it, right? So question, is it better to upload daily? So what Brian said just a little bit before is that he recommends trying to upload at least once a week. The problem is that when you're uploading daily is that you're constantly competing with yourself too frequently. And what I mean by that is, when you first upload a piece of content, you want to give it some time to breathe, to get out there. But when you're constantly putting out content, the previous piece doesn't have that time to get served to your audience, to get aired. Now, it might make sense depending the type of content you do, right? So let's say you're a gaming channel. It makes a lot of sense for you to do daily if your audience is super engaged, super willing to watch content like that. So it really just depends the different kinds. So hopefully that answers your question. I see more people. So Dole Whip Dad says, question for Andrew: where can I get some panda art for my wall? You know, Amazon is great. But just wanting to see more questions. Question: does YouTube have a preference between live streams and non-live uploads? YouTube luckily takes all video content as the same. So live streams, during the stream, YouTube searches and sorts by relevancies, so what they really genuinely care about. And if you guys see me looking away, it's because I'm trying to help Brian G get back in the stream. But YouTube is really looking for relevant content. So live streams, because of the nature of us being live, right? This is going to be more relevant than a pre-recorded video. That's not to say that it's not as important. Oh, Brian G is back. Welcome, Brian.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Just helping clear the time to get you back in.
Yeah, you know what's funny is, like, I started to feel like, hey, this is good. I'm on a roll. I'm starting to find my groove, and I'm like, and then I scroll up, and everything was completely locked, and I had that kind of like scrolling wheel. And anyway, I want to get right back into it, and hopefully we're good now. We had an issue with me clicking out of StreamYard. We had my internet just crashed. Normally it's not this bad, but I told Andrew that my internet is known to be bad. So hopefully we're good now. So I want to jump right in, and I just want to get right to it. So this is what I want you to think about if you're excited about growing your YouTube channel, is to keep things simple early. And I'm being very careful not to click out of StreamYard. That's very good. I'm going to look at my live comments. Looks like, okay, so I'm just going to get comments here. So I've got, there we go. Let's see if we can find the comments. There we go. Hey guys, okay, there we go. Hey, Harley, how are you doing? Andrew, good to see you. I see the comments. This is awesome. So, guys, again, let's get right into it. This is what I want you to know. I started saying this, and I love the way I started the show, so I'm going to come right back in where I started. This is my promise to you. I guarantee that if you consistently upload videos once a week, that's it. If you right now let me know that, hey, I'm serious about YouTube and I want to grow, and I'm going to pledge to Brian and the folks at TubeBuddy and to all my creators here that I'm going to publish at least one video a week, and that you're also going to strive to improve. And you're going to think about all of the things that you hear about. You're going to grow. I guarantee it. And that might seem like a little bit of hype, but what I know is that over time, it does get a lot easier. It gets a lot easier to, let's see if I can, there we go. It gets a lot easier to grow your YouTube channel. As your channel grows, it's easier to drive the views. It's easier to move forward. And you're going to get to a point where you basically understand some of the things you can do to move the needle. If you're just getting started, or if you're struggling, then some of the tips I'm going to share today will help kind of get that momentum going. How exactly do you do it? This is how I want you to think about YouTube success. Hey, Mike, good to see you. Mike's in Colorado Springs. We hang out sometimes. Good to see you, Mike. Daniel Battelle, welcome. Good to see you, pal. Do this if you want views. Keep it simple. Let go of like, I wonder about like the best average view duration, or is it average percentage viewed, or should I make short videos, or how do I get suggested? Just none of that crap matters. It doesn't. All you have to do is focus on one audience over a long period of time and continue to think about, okay, this is important. You've heard it before, but really take this to heart today. You got to really think about what they want. That's it. Again, let go of all the other stuff. Your job when you want to trigger the YouTube algorithm is to simply begin the process by asking yourself, what kind of video would really do well? What does my core audience want? What are the things they keep asking again and again? Start there and keep it really, really simple. I want you to do this as far as how to think about YouTube in order to get great results. I want you to put yourself in the shoes of your audience, and I want you to literally ask yourself, what are the topics that really do well in my particular space? What kind of videos have already done well? And then as you start thinking about this, like, what are the words they think about? You're my core audience if you want to get views on YouTube. And I know that's something you think about. And so many of my videos are like, you keep talking about how to get views all day long because that's what matters to my audience. For example, I could release a video on thumbnails and it would probably drive maybe 70% less views because it doesn't garner the interest as getting views. So what you want to do is begin the process of triggering the YouTube algorithm by targeting one specific audience, and it shouldn't be your audience. Let go of the idea of you have an audience. Instead, I want you to think of an audience that, think of it this way. Think of a topic that other channels are covering, and in those videos that they're publishing, the audience is connecting. So tech is a great example. Another example might be painting or being artistic or creating a butterfly garden, any kind of gardening. These are all niches, and you really want to think about your audience as a YouTube audience. This part is super important. If you're here today for the fast lane, for how to get views really fast, then do this. I want you to listen because this is powerful. You want to find a YouTube audience that's already consuming videos. And then you want to study the channels that are serving videos that audience is really connecting with. You're going to see maybe 10%. Hopefully, let's see how I look in the frame here. Looks pretty good. Okay, we're seem to be doing better, right? You're gonna start seeing some channels that are doing better in your space, and I want you to really pay attention. Do this. When you see a video take off by a channel that serves the same core audience as you, ask yourself why, and then run down some of the things. How is the title? Are they targeting a keyword phrase? So that's two things: title, keyword phrase. How is the thumbnail? Pay attention to their delivery on camera. Think about the editing they're using. Think about why the audience keeps coming back. And the more you ask yourself, why is this video doing well, the more likely at some point you're going to be able to move forward. You're going to select and you're going to choose a video topic, an idea for your video, and that is the starting point. Again, don't worry at all about a great thumbnail or a topic or I want to get suggested. That is the goofiest thing I've ever heard in my life. How do you do that? I'm not a rocket scientist. I just make simple videos. And I start with, what does my audience care about? I released a video today that is on the YouTube algorithm. And guess what? Getting views. Because those two elements together are something that my audience cares about. And I know the algorithm topic works well for me because I've done well with that in the past. So start with one YouTube audience. Don't think it's your audience. I see a lot of people making this mistake. They think of it as, I have a channel, anything I publish, that's my audience. Don't do that. Instead, find a niche, a topic that other channels are creating content for, and that is where you want to go. It should be broad so you can branch out slowly over time. But quite honestly, going narrow is super powerful because it's a little bit more niche. So that's really the first part of the process of triggering the YouTube algorithm. The second thing you want to think about doing is just creating a few bullet points. Like, let's kind of do this here just for a moment. I can't, don't ever do this. This is not professional. A professional YouTuber would never, ever do this. But this is my whiteboard, and I started scribbling all these ideas on my whiteboard today. And I've got about 5 videos, just a few basic bullet points. And those bullet points, what those represent is the structure of my video. This is the second thing to think about as you're really crafting a video that's going to trigger. And by the way, triggering the algorithm is always, it's over here. It's kind of on my left. It might be on your right, but the trigger the algorithm is this way. And that's it. And what you want to think about is this next part, which is step 3, is it's imperative that you keep viewers watching your video. So again, when you begin the process by thinking about one YouTube audience that you're going to serve, the more you study that audience, the more you study the creators that are doing well in that space, the more you're going to be able to structure videos and keep viewers watching. That is the most important thing, I believe, on YouTube. It's interesting. I think it's easier to get views with a great title and thumbnail and to cover the right kind of topic. So the 3 T's: topic, title, and thumbnail. I think when you get good at that, you can increase your views. But if you really want to go big, if you want a YouTube silver play button, if you want brand deals, if you want a hungry audience that keeps coming back, you have to have an ability to keep viewers watching your content. So the reason we want to structure, right? The reason we want to structure out our videos is we really want to think through, like, what are the important points for this video that I'm thinking about creating that I have to cover, and I want to do a good job to ensure I cover them well. I don't want to forget. I don't want to repeat myself. So what I'm going to do is just create those bullet points on a whiteboard, on a pad of paper, points and notes to myself. And I've got literally hundreds and hundreds of videos that are scripted out on my iPad. This is a really essential part of YouTube's success. And right now, you might be thinking, you know, I've heard this before. And I just want to be real with you today. I just want to share what I know to be true about YouTube's success. It's simple. And anybody that really wants to help you grow is going to stay centered in how to grow on YouTube. There's no new tactics that have come out in the last year that are revolutionary. It's like, be compelling, create a great title, serve the audience. So if you're feeling like, gosh, I just wish I could hear, I've heard this before. The thing to think about is you're not necessarily looking for the missing element of success. You might think there must be something I'm missing. And chances are, if you're thinking like, oh, I've heard this before, you've probably heard what you need to focus on, but it's really about improving your skills as a YouTuber. Can we all agree this is art? I got to tell you, this is having the ability to color grade your footage, which I've been working on for a few days. It's getting better and better. Understanding the darn camera settings. Hang on. See this thing right here. I'm ready to throw this thing. You got one of these newfangled fancy Sony A6400s, and I don't know how, but my detail setting way deep in the picture profile menus on picture profile 8, hidden is detail, and my detail was all the way at -7. And it's like all of these things really contribute to the fact that what we're talking about here is art. And right, creating videos and speaking on camera or doing a voiceover or being comedic, being funny, teaching somebody how to play the guitar or plant flowers. All of that involves art. And the more you focus on improving your art, the better your results will get. So sometimes you might think, oh, I've heard these things before, but it's not like you hear it, you apply the tip, and you see if it works, which I'm amazed at how many people like, does this work? This works. I guarantee this absolutely works. So many people that I've worked with are doing amazing things because they continue to practice. So like I said, step 3 is really to think through, keep the viewers watching. And one of the best ways is to create bullet points for your video. Now, when you film your video, you really want to ensure you're stepping up to the camera and you're delivering in the very best manner you can. Be captivating. Think of yourself as you're not creating a video for YouTube. You're publishing a TV show that's going to appear on Netflix, and then approach it in the same manner. That's really going to help you kind of like think about things in a new way that will help you move forward. Come on. There we go. When you have 0 views and your click-through rate is 100%. So when you have 0 views and your click-through rate is 100%, the fact of the matter is you probably didn't connect with and target a keyword phrase. You're probably just getting started on the platform, or you're really not paying attention to good titles and keyword phrases, and you're not getting very many views because of that. And furthermore, the views you get early in a video's life will really determine whether or not YouTube is going to push out your video or not. I literally published a video today that talks about metrics. So one of the things that I see is a lot of people talking about, let me see here. I see a lot of people talking about the click-through rate. So that's another great topic we can cover, is that it's not just the click-through rate. You see, if you've got a click-through rate that's very, very high, but people abandon your video immediately, what does that tell YouTube? It tells them that, A, you did a good job. I'm not going to tell you you did a bad job. Anytime we're publishing, we're doing great. And if your click-through rate is very high, the viewer was interested in the topic of your video. That's great. You did a good job with the first step in the process, but you have to keep viewers watching, like I mentioned. So know that you can get more views, but you have to turn it around. I see so many people that are like, oh, I have 0 views, 0 subscribers. It's so hard as a small YouTuber. You got to get off the struggle bus. You got to decide to make it happen. I've seen plenty of people do it. And the more you can really focus on making it happen, the better you'll do. And again, it's like creating a great video is like creating a great cake or pie. And if one of the ingredients rather is missing, you will struggle. So really think about the fact that maybe, just maybe, if you haven't really grown or seen a lot of views, there's something about your videos that can be improved in terms of the audience that's watching, right? And when you do that, you're putting yourself in a position of power because you're focusing on what you can do. It bums me out. I see so many YouTubers that are like, oh, small YouTuber, it's so hard. I can't, it seems impossible. Big YouTubers have it so much easier. The fact of the matter is, right now, there are thousands and thousands of small creators blowing up. It's totally possible you can too. Okay, so we kind of talked about like just keeping it simple, focusing on a video, and then thinking about keeping people watching. As you're doing this, as you're thinking about your one topic, what you want to do next is you want to be thinking about, how can I create a title for this video that's really going to connect with the audience? So one of the things I said is, I know my audience well, right? My audience wants more views. They want more subscribers. They're interested in making money on YouTube. So how to make money on YouTube, that would be another thing they're interested in. A good percentage of my viewers are interested in the YouTube algorithm. This is another topic that matters to my audience. So as I'm looking at the videos I'm publishing, I'm always on my iPad. That's this thing again over here. So, hey, Glenn, if you don't have an audience, I would encourage you to focus on what I'm sharing, study best practices, and strive to improve your videos, and you'll have an audience. It's just how it works, pal. So the thing to think about is, as you're building this stuff out, you'll go far and you'll do well. So as I'm structuring my videos, I'm thinking to myself, I need to create a video title that's short, to the point, and probably should target one keyword phrase. This is what I want you to know. Listen, this is really important. For whatever reason, YouTube search has got this negative stigma about it. And I saw a post from Jeremy Vest. He's in our community, cool cat. Works with a lot of YouTubers, very smart. He's been around YouTube for a long time. And Jeremy talked about misinformation. And a lot of huge YouTubers came in and they made some statements. Augie Johnston, he has a channel with around 500,000 subscribers. And his comment was like, I'd really love some metrics and numbers about YouTube search versus suggested. Again, he's got 500,000 subscribers and he drives millions and millions of views. And the majority of his views come through YouTube search. Sean Cannell, amazing individual. Just really like Sean a lot. Classy guy, really smart, hustles. He's been on YouTube for many years. He comes in and he's like, yeah, I'd really love some information on suggested and search as well. And his #1 traffic source was YouTube search. This is what I want you to think about if you're not getting views. Again, I'm encouraging you to empower yourself right now. Instead of publishing and commenting, I don't get any views, or it's really hard, or I can't make it, decide you're going to learn and put these practices to use, and you will grow. I guarantee it. Over time, you will start making better decisions that will lead to the growth you're after. So anyway, Sean comes in and Sean mentions that his #1 traffic source too is also YouTube search. Now, Sean just got a gold play button. Can you imagine? 1 million YouTube subscribers. And his number one traffic source is YouTube search. So instead of like having this negative thought about YouTube search, and instead of like, how can I get my videos suggested? If you start where we started today with the whole idea of, I'm just going to focus on creating a video that people want to click on and watch. That's it. It doesn't matter if you get views through suggested or search, or you rank on Google. You want views from real people, real viewers on YouTube that will subscribe. And when you follow this process, you'll find it'll work out for you. So, I wanted to share that about thinking about how to create that video title that we talked about. And the thing you can do is just think about 2 or 3 words that the audience you want to get in front of would search YouTube to find a video like you're going to create. Again, what you want to do is you really don't want to film your video and then think about a title. You don't want to do a bunch of filming and then try to plan out and figure out how to get views. You want to plan out your video. You want to go through these steps that I'm laying out, and then you want to step up and strive to publish a video that does that. Struggle bus, that comes from our pal Roberto Blake. So like I was saying, think about 2 or 3 words that someone might search for on YouTube to find the video that you're thinking about creating. And then at that point, what you can do is you can start researching the keyword phrases around that phrase that you see on YouTube, and you can create that or add that to your video title, that is. And by creating a video title that includes a keyword phrase, you're going to be far more likely to have YouTube distribute your video through browse, suggest your video through browse. That's the YouTube homepage. You're much more likely to show up in search and so on. I have a video I just published about 4 weeks ago. It's getting 2,000 views a day, and most of it is through YouTube search. So really following these bits of advice and whatnot, these tips can really help you out. Hey, Brian, would that make the competition high? So the thing to think about as far as keyword tools like TubeBuddy is TubeBuddy can really help you to understand how competitive a keyword phrase is. But you always have the option, you always have the ability to publish a video that ranks #1, no matter how big or small your channel is, no matter how competitive the space is. If you publish a video that viewers love more, you'll do well. What's really hard is when we're starting out, we don't have the skills that big YouTubers do. So, if you try to compete against a YouTuber with 5 years of YouTube experience, someone that's published 500-600 videos, you may struggle to drive the same kind of metrics that the bigger YouTube is driving. So it's not just CTR, it's not just watch time, it's not just retention, it's not just did they subscribe, it's not how often they visit your channel, it's all of these things together. So this is really what I want you to think about as you move forward and you strive to grow your YouTube channel. Now, the second thing you want to do is as you start to formulate your video title, then you also want to be goes along with your video title. Now, I've shared this a little bit, and I'll probably make a video on it soon, but check this out. This is really powerful, and it might be a new concept for you. So we might actually have some new information. Let me know what you think. I want you to think about your video title and your thumbnail as containing a message. A message. A message is based on words. A message means something. A message can make people laugh. A message can make people think. A message can be based on the proof and results that people want. When you think about your video title and the thumbnail, someone just said convey. Yeah, that's Andrew. Exactly. Convey a message. When you think about your thumbnail and your title is conveying a message, it's much more powerful than thinking of it as a piece of art. Now, if your thumbnail is beautiful and it's eye-catching and it's well designed, that helps. But what helps just as much, if not more, is that your thumbnail and your title together form a powerful message. So, for example, the video that's driving 2,000 views a day right now is actually up to 2,500 views a day. The message is how to get more views on YouTube in 2 minutes. And that's a powerful message. Like 2 minutes, really, I can get more views in 2 minutes. And I delivered. In fact, I've done that video twice. I did it in 2019, and I'll give you guys a little secret here. The tip was that by changing your title or thumbnail to a better thumbnail to grab more attention, you can increase your views. And in the process, you can get more views to the video you've already published in like 2 minutes. Quite frankly, after you learn the skills of thumbnail design, after you learn how to be compelling, after you know how to focus on a message, it's pretty easy to go back to a video and make a change. In fact, I'm curious. I'm going to search right now for I just changed a video title this morning on a video. I'm going to move this a little bit. Let's just see what happens here. Looks like I can. So I'm going to search for, I think it was like get more views in 2020, get more views in 2020. And let's see if so yeah, there we go. So now I just changed. Let's see if how this works. Let's see if we can break this again. Share screen, 2 monitors. Don't show this tip again. I'm not gonna. I think I'm not gonna do that actually. But basically, I see my video is now ranking number 3. Oh, it still says how to borrow views. YouTube hasn't quite updated it yet. But again, this is something I do a lot, right? So think about the message that's really powerful. Think about your message as like an advert for your video. And the more powerful your advert is, the more likely people will click and so on. When you create, if you're a gamer and you're like Minecraft gameplay, there's nothing that separates your message or your ad from millions and millions of other videos. And it's really hard to get great results with that kind of thing, right? So that's kind of one of the things you want to focus on and do. Let's see if we get, no. Where is sometimes I like to try to go back and see, and it says I'm not subscribed to TubeBuddy. Man, it seems like I've been, that's funny. I'm not going to say it. Anyway, so those are some of the core functions and fundamentals, tips you want to focus on. And I want to share a few other thoughts, and then I'm going to take questions for a little bit of time here. Hey, Shelly, good to see you. How you doing, my friend? Feel Button, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Listen, you might think, the thing is it's just not working. One of the things about this live stream is the title. It says triggering YouTube growth opportunity. Well, how do you trigger it? One of the things to think about at the beginning, who knows if it's going to be on this stream because we had to restart twice. But bottom line is this: if you consistently publish videos over a period of time, right? If you publish videos weekly, once a week, if you do that religiously over a period of time, 6 months, a year, and you keep doing it, you're always publishing at least once a week. I'm publishing twice a week right now. If you do that and you continue, you're going to get better. And what you may think is you might think it's not working until all of a sudden it does. As you're making videos, there's no reason why you can't go back and make a video you've already made in the past. I've made videos, I've remade videos. I always create like different information, but some of the formats, sometimes the thumbnails are similar because they really do well for my channel. There's no reason why just because you're not getting the views you want today doesn't mean you won't in the future. And furthermore, I want to use the word growing. If you're publishing videos regularly and you're trying to improve the videos, you're thinking beyond how do I get views? You're focused on making better titles, making better thumbnails, learning your editing software, doing color correction, creating multiple videos with multiple clips. The more you're really trying to learn, the more likely you're going to, at some point, you're going to blow up. And during that process, you will be growing. So really think about that. So Andrew, can you toss me a few questions, buddy, in the private chat, and I'll wait for those. Let's see, we're in StreamYard. Oh, perfect. There he is. There's the man, the legend, the myth.
So Brian, I already actually put them in the private chat, but I'll go ahead and ask you if you don't mind.
Yeah, it just makes it easier for me. I like that's what I was saying earlier. I think it's really powerful when there's just kind of like a back and forth questions, and reading is so hard. This is video, brother. Well, nobody reads on YouTube, including me. So
true. So the first question we have is, does YouTube have a preference between live streams and non-live uploads? So basically they're wondering, does YouTube have preference to live streams or traditional videos more?
Yeah. I think as I was coming in, I think you actually were sharing some thoughts in the chat. This is what I know to be true, factual. This is the correct answer. It's not so much YouTube. Remember, I kind of talked about that audience. It really matters how the audience engages and interacts with each piece of content a publisher creates. Now, for example, if you're a live streamer and that's what you really focus on, you might find people do watch the replay, but the true value, the highest level value, is when the live stream is live. That's what live streaming is why it's so awesome and it's cool, right? Now, it doesn't mean that live streams can't work for you. They can, but typically speaking, focus on videos first and see if you can get that working for your channel, especially if you're modeling other channels and you see that they typically publish videos. It's usually easier to get a video to rank, to drive views, to grow your channel than a live stream, because it's much more challenging to be compelling and engaging when you're live. Just creating a video that engages people is challenging. Being able to do that in real time without a break, it's kind of like someone pushes you out on stage and says, perform, go. So that's really what you want to think about, though. It's really based on the audience. I would say begin with videos and really try to make that work. And also test live streams out and see, but typically it's more video based as far as the growth goes.
And I think that makes a lot of sense. I think focusing on the viewer and how they react to a specific piece of content really goes into what you were kind of saying earlier with the messaging. Like, what's the messaging around each unique piece of content? So I wanted to talk kind of a bit more on messaging. This next question comes from NC Tyrant Hunter, and they say, why can't I get views that another channel gets and I have more subs with the same content? So he's saying that they have similar messaging. Why is this one channel getting more views?
So the thing you want to think about when it comes to publishing a successful video is it's like there are gatekeepers. In other words, in order for you to do really well, you have to pass a series of qualifications. And if your video struggles to meet a grade, you're not going to do well. So creating a video title is pretty easy. You can create the same exact video title as another creator, but it doesn't mean you're going to get the same results. You can create the same exact thumbnail as well. Doesn't mean you're going to get the same results. What really matters is the second a viewer clicks on your thumbnail. From that moment on, what's happening is YouTube is actually measuring how often people do click, and that impacts your watch time. Think watch time. Almost always, the reason is simple. Your watch time metrics are not good enough. It's not always. There are other factors, but typically, what you can look at is your audience retention metrics, excuse me, are just not that great. So in other words, if you publish a 5-minute video and people watch for 1 minute, there are other videos on the platform that are similar, maybe even have the same title, and that same 5-minute video is being watched for 4 minutes. It's a lot easier for YouTube to push out a video that has exceptional watch time because they have confidence that the audience enjoys the content. Think of, again, these checks and balances. There's the qualification process. First, you've got to get people to click on your video more than most videos. This is super important, especially if you're a small creator, because quite frankly, that is easier, I believe, than getting people to watch longer. Excuse me. And then the second part, like I'm saying, is you have to keep people watching to the end of your video. Check this out. I'm really proud of this. I think this is an amazing statistic. The video of mine that's getting 2,500 views per day, growing my channel like gangbusters, is about 5.5 minutes, and 21% of the viewers click an end screen element. So let's really think about what that means. Number one, the CTR is off the charts. The CTR is 10%. Number two, the average view duration is not the greatest, but 21% of the people do make it all the way to the end of the video, and they click on another video. That tells YouTube that A, the viewer was interested in the video and they clicked. B, they watched the video for the entirety of the video, and they were impressed by the creator so much that they clicked on another video. It's like stacking the deck in your favor. So that's really what I want to share with you, is that you've got to constantly be really striving to improve all areas of your video. And by the way, I just published a video today that goes through all of these things. It's based on the YouTube algorithm. It talks about how to think about your videos. I would really encourage you to watch that video. It will help to ensure that you stop publishing videos with 10 views.
I think that's incredible, especially just that percentage that makes it to the end screen. So our mods are going to be putting in chat, and I'll make sure to put this in the video description, Brian G's video that he just mentioned there, as well as the one that's earning 2,500 views per day, just so you get a chance to see it. So our next question, Brian, is kind of going on what you were talking about there, you know, making it to the end of a video. So this comes from Chance, and Chance says, I'm posting 1 time a week and I want to grow. I get discouraged because I see people don't watch the full 10-minute video. What's your advice?
So number one, you're probably not creating a detailed step-by-step process for your video. Like when I basically did this, when I shared like, yo, those are the bullet points that guide me through a video. So what happens is, like, early in the morning, I'm writing down these things. Like the video in the middle is, this is why you're not growing. You're not getting any views. And it says no views. And then it says subs. And then literally it says you have to keep viewers watching. And so I've got everything scripted out. Then later in the day, I step over there in front of that fancy light and I film my video and so on. Sorry for the camera movement. So here's what you need to do. Number one, now I could be wrong, but statistically speaking, most YouTubers, I don't think, are really creating bullet points to guide them through their videos. Sometimes I literally write out my videos word for word, and that's worked out well too. And the amount of time I've spent doing that is insane. Like literally, I'll put in 15 hours in writing a video script. Does that seem insane to you? What if I told you that the video that I've done that with, many of them have 100,000, 200,000, 500,000 views. They've done really, really well. So it seems like a lot of work, but what seems like more work to me is to get no views. So like start off with this, right? Start off with those bullet points, and then that will keep you on track. Now, here's what's awesome is when you have the bullet points, as you're filming, whether you're a gamer or if you're in front of a camera, like camera lens, you can look up and you can say, I need to say something about views. Are your videos getting no views? Cut. Okay, that was a good take. But what happens if I say that and my dog comes in and jumping around? Like, that's not a good take. And I go back and I'm like, are your videos getting no views? And I can go down every single bullet point, and I can film in chunks, which then means I can edit, and I've got these chunks, and when it all comes together, it flows, it's fast. I can convey as much information in 5 minutes today that used to take me 15 minutes because of how I structure my videos. So this is the process you want to go through, and that's going to allow you to keep people watching your video longer. Now, there's a lot of other things you can do. What we're really talking about is YouTube audience retention. One of the tactics and strategies you can do is, this is interesting. When it comes to comedy, if you're covering a certain topic, you have to stay on topic. If you go too far away, in other words, if you're creating a video on how to leverage the power of the YouTube description, and I try to make you laugh for 45 seconds, and I'm not talking about the YouTube description, you or most viewers are not going to like it. But if I can talk about the YouTube description and I can be funny, like literally I'm making a video about YouTube sub for sub, and a lot of people aren't going to like it. And it's kind of quirky and funny. And I'm doing a lot of things that people are not going to expect. Let me give you an example.
The suspense. This will be our little secret, everyone. Don't tell Brian G.
Like sometimes, like, and I don't know if this works. It doesn't always work. You know, I go, I'll do this. I'll go, and I'll do that like after I say something, and I think it's funny, and some people think it's funny, and the audience might not think it's funny. But the more you can do things that are unexpected, the more likely you can keep viewers watching. In 2019, I made a video on audience retention, and I had a gardening glove on my hand. And a lot of people will point, and when they point, like text will come up on the screen, and everybody does that. But how many people have done it wearing a gardening glove? Now, what do you think happened when I did that? Number one, I got a crazy amount of comments like, dude, what's with the gardening glove? Gardening glove, gardening glove. And I kept doing it a few times. And the reason I did that is so I stop you and I go, wait, what did he just do? And at that point, you're focused and I have your attention. So one of the things you can do is be unexpected, but also balance it out. You can be too unexpected, and then the word you will be labeled with is cringy. I know all too well. But these are the things to really focus on. Begin with the bullet points, film in chunks, and also practice your editing. It's amazing what you can do with a good video edit. A great video is born in the edit, and I personally believe most YouTubers don't spend enough time editing. Doesn't mean you need to spend hours and hours. Does mean you need to edit your videos enough. And I got 2 more minutes and I got to run, pal.
I know. I'm just trying to keep you on track. So I guess this last question comes from a good friend, and they ask, when we talk about the YouTube algorithm, we're talking about the suggested algorithm, right?
No, we're talking about the platform that YouTube leverages in order to basically recommend our videos. And there are all different components to the algorithm. There is the suggested algorithm. There's an algorithm for up next, which is a type of suggested algorithm or recommended. There's an algorithm for YouTube search. There's an algorithm for notifications. There's all kinds of algorithms. But what I would encourage you to do is abandon the idea that it's the algorithm and instead replace it with it's the audience. The algorithm measures the audience and how it reacts to a video. If you don't have any views and you're like, I just need to get views and then it'll work, you need to publish videos that someone clicks on and then watches till the end. And once you do that, the YouTube algorithm will see that and they'll be more likely to push that video out. You dig?
Doug.
I knew you could.
So Brian G, thank you so much for joining us here today. It's been a really great pleasure to have you on. I think we got a lot of important information out there. And one thing I really took away from this is the messaging of your videos, the content, who you're trying to reach really, really does matter. So Brian, thank you so much. How can people reach you?
Thing is I got 2 poodles and they're hungry. So I need everybody. This is not any kind of fun and games. I need everybody to subscribe. When you subscribe today, you'll feed a poodle. I got 2 poodles and they're hungry, and you can find me because I'm not trying to hide here on YouTube. If you like search for my name, I'll come up, Brian G. Johnson. You guys have all seen, we're all pals though. This is ridiculous.
Thank you so much, Brian G. That's going to be it for us. Thank you all so much.
I gotta go.
Oop,
Andrew, I gotta go.